Okay, so now as we continue with our fun project, we're going to go over the Pathfinder tools. And I consider the Pathfinder the third most important tool after the pen tool and the type tools. So let's begin by looking at this. Here we go. Here are two objects that I made, an oval and a star. I'll Control Z that and put it back. When I select these two, like this, and come to the Pathfinder Unite tool, this is the result I get. The shapes are added together and it takes on the color of the top object. Now I purposely made these two different colors so that you could see what happens with that. The other thing, as you go over these tools, it says that you should alt-click. And I did put this in the instructions. However, I have found that you really don't have to alt-click in order to get this effect. Okay, let's move on to the minus front. Again, we take our two objects and we come here to this tool, minus front, and this is the effect we get. It actually cuts out and subtracts from the back shape what was in front. The next tool we have is intersect. And here you can see when we press intersect, it keeps the areas that were overlapping. Okay, so here is exclude. And here's the exclude tool. And you can see here that it takes on the top color, but it excludes any part that is overlapped. And, you know, I can take and just do an oval like this and send it to back just to show you that it is indeed, there you go, you see? All right, so let's move on now to the Pathfinders and down here. So here, when you go to the divide, what it does is it actually breaks it up into different pieces depending on where there was an intersection. And here's the trim. And the trim acts just like a puzzle. And it doesn't make pieces like this does. So let's move on over here to merge. Now, merge, I made an extra ellipse here, and I put strokes on these so that you could see what would happen when we go to merge. Here we go. So what happens here is the stroke comes off, and the ones that are, the objects that are like colors merge together. But the color that is different and the object that is a different color actually makes a cutout. So, and all the strokes are lost. So next we go to crop, and I know we've used some of these tools already in our lessons. But here I've got my ellipse and the star, and I've drawn an ellipse around it. And when I select the three objects, this is what happens. It cuts out all the objects that are outside the ellipse, and the stroke is lost also. Next we come to outline. And outline, and I will zoom in on this. There we go. So you can see it. See, it's very, very light. And what this is for is to be used for trapping. And you've seen funnies where the plates were not lined up properly and there's a white mark or a colored mark between the plates, the colors, well, this is something that you do to eliminate that. But I have to tell you, it is better for you to leave this to your printer because he has special software that does this, and then he's responsible for the trapping. Okay, the last thing here is minus back. And here too, when we have our two objects, it takes everything that is in back plus the overlapped area. So you see that's a different effect. Now the last two things I want to show you are the offset path. And here I've taken this united piece here and so that you could see what it's like. And I'll just select this. Here we go. All right. And you go to Object and Path and Offset Path. And what happens when you do that is you put into the dialog box how much distance you want, and you actually get an object that is offset that amount. It would be the same color, so it would come up magenta. I changed this color so you could see it a little better. I'll do a Control Z here. And the last thing I want to show you is the outline stroke. And I'm going to select this path here, and I put a pretty thick stroke on it, and I went to Object and Path and Outline Stroke. There it is. Okay. And this is the effect that I got. It converted it to a solid object that goes along the curves that I had this, and this is very beneficial. Okay, so that is a run-through of the Pathfinder tools. What I'd like you to do is print out this PDF. It's called Pathfinder PDF, and I'd like you to go through and try all of these yourself so you get a feel for what each and every one of these tools does. And then go on to the next tutorial, which will show you what to do with the outline stroke. We'll make rings that interlock together, and then the one after that will be a logo that you will make using the Pathfinders. So have fun. Bye-bye.